So a few days ago, Hero Games had their global launch announcement livestream where they dropped some huge news about their upcoming gacha game, Duet Night Abyss, namely that they're taking out the gacha. No more gacha for characters, no more gacha for weapons, not even a stamina system limiting playtime. And seeing as Japan is the birthplace of gacha games, gacha is a Japanese word after all, I thought it would be interesting to see what they thought about Duet Night Abyss as a whole, and especially what they said about this dramatic update now that pre-registrations are open on their official website, which you can check out in the link in the description below. So with that being said, let's get into it. I looked through the comment sections on the official YouTube videos, replies, and also quick retweets to the official Twitter post, as well as other tweets I could find. I also checked out some of the biggest streamers and YouTubers to see what they had to say about both the recent announcement and also what they thought about the story and gameplay from the previous beta tests. And this is what I found. On the topic of the story, it was difficult to find opinions because we've only had closed beta tests so far and only so many people could experience it. But from those who have played it, they said it was an interesting story and are interested to see how it develops.
ストーリーはおもろかった。ちなみに大大小小的一些改动，わかりやすいし、おもろい。
ストーリーはね、一応 CBT やった時、なんか結構先が気になるような感じではあったっすよ。
One detail that Netoryu said that they particularly enjoyed was that how the game's title showed up during the prologue cutscene, and that those who like Telltale's games might also enjoy that, which is something Chuni also seemed to really like.
ちなみに、ゲーム内でタイトルが表示される演出めっちゃ好き。テイルズ好きならこの辺もやっぱ刺さるよねって感じ。
Japanese players were also particularly impressed by the localization. Many other games from Chinese developers have had issues with this, particularly in Japan, but it seems Duet Night Abyss got it right, as I heard many say it sounded natural in Japanese and that they were glad they didn't have any long strings of kanji for jargon, as is common in many of these games.
ストーリーについて、というかローカライズは綺麗気味だと思います。ある程度何をしているか、何を言っているかわかるので、斜め読みしていますが、漢字連打とかはされていなくて、程よくカタカナも入るんで読みやすいかなって。
これね、結構ね、すごいローカライズをね、めちゃくちゃ頑張っていらっしゃるそうなんですけれども。
For the character designs, I saw a lot of people say that they were happy with the variety shown on screen, whether cute, cool or sexy, there was something for everyone. I saw a lot of comments in chat about Saiki, who seemed to be a standout favorite. Neromero especially liked her.
番組セット気合入ってる。サイキだ。サイキ。とりあえずサイキって子が可愛いんで、サイキだけ覚えて帰ってください。これサイキって子ね。マジ、みんなの嫁。マジめっちゃ可愛いサイキ。空飛べてね、月光町するんだよ。めっちゃいいよ。で、サイキね。嫁ね、みんなの嫁ね、サイキ。
Though I think Saiki's popularity is probably due to her role in the story, which I won't spoil here. And as for the actors they got to voice these characters, they were impressed by the all-star cast. Hanae Natsuki, Kito Akari, Hosoya Yoshimasa, Ishikawa Yui, Yuki Aoi, Furukawa Makoto, Naganawa Maria, Seto Asami, Irami Manaka, Koshimizu Ami, Kurosawa Tomoyo, Sato Satomi, Tamura Mutsumi, Tomatsu Haruka, Nanjo Yoshino, and Sawashiro Miyuki. All of these actors are big names with huge followings in Japan, and these are just the ones we know about at the moment. Many thought it was funny that the voice actors for the male and female main characters are the same as Tanjiro and Nezuko respectively. That might have been intentional, but I'm not sure. On the gameplay aspect, again, this is for those who have played the closed beta tests, so it might be different in the official release, but I often saw comments saying that many stages felt that they were playing a kind of Dynasty Warriors-like game, with them having to constantly mow down hordes of enemies, which could get tiring for many players. But at the same time, Dynasty Warriors and similar games are a huge genre, so there's definitely an audience out there who would enjoy that.
神ゲーに見えるか。
此时在释放攻击箭矢就拥有了追踪的能力，对敌人进行致命。
面白そうだか？
Again, this was for the closed beta, so we'll just have to see how these changes they announced in the livestream will affect the gameplay in the official release. One thing that has undeniably improved is the inclusion of sprint. One of the sticking points that kept getting brought up over and over in the CBT was the lack of a sprint and how slow it felt to move from place to place, even with the spin jump.
走りたい!
Luckily, that has been fixed in the recent livestream and everyone was glad to see its inclusion. I saw a few comments saying that there were certain things that they'd felt they'd seen in other games, but I couldn't really find any comments being particularly critical about it. Most of them said things like this: I'm pretty sure I've seen some of these things before, but if the game is interesting, it doesn't matter. I think Palworld would have something to say about that, but let's just move on. On the topic of what seems to be one of the biggest influences on this game being Warframe, there was this little conversation that happened in Nerumeru's stream.
おもろいけど人を選ぶなって感じだった。好きな人は好きそうな感じ。もともとウォーフレームっていうゲームにめっちゃ意識してるゲームだと思うかな、このゲーム。まあそのウォーフレーム自体が結構沼る人は沼るみたいな感じのゲームだから、それはあるのかもしれん。でもストーリーめっちゃ良かったな、最近。
Another thing I saw mentioned every now and then was that it's all well and good having it for PC and also for smartphones, but what about PlayStation? It seems there are a lot of people looking for a console version, a version that they can play on PlayStation. Xbox really isn't a thing in Japan, but PlayStation, yeah, that's something they are really looking forward to. But this was the general reaction to them removing all gacha and stamina limits.
第一に
角色免费。
何？キャラクターが無料？
怎么个免费法？我们
キャラと武器のガチャを廃止したこと？
未来所有的角色跟武器都可以通过游戏。
The comment with the most likes on Fields Foods video summarizing the recent livestream said this. There's a part of me that's excited to hear the gacha is gone, but there's also another part of me that is incredibly worried if this game can continue service without it.
これ紙ですけどね。これはマジで。金儲けてよ。
どこで集金するかちょっと言ってもらわないとなんか安心できない。大丈夫だ。
There are many others who shared this sentiment, but at the same time, I also saw plenty of comments saying this. I was just getting to the point where I thought I couldn't play another gacha game. And even though I wasn't going to try this game, if it really doesn't have gacha anymore, I'm definitely going to check it out. Already pre-registered. On the official trailer for Berenica, I found this comment. I'm glad this is a very Wuthering Waves-esque trailer, and it seems the quality is only going to get better. Getting rid of the gacha was a gutsy decision, but I'm happy and I will support you in this. I'm praying for this business model to succeed and I will personally support you. Other comments on other videos said this. There might be some negative comments out there from players who have been playing gacha games for so long, but I am supporting you. Let's break the concept that high sales equal what is a good game.
いや確かにね、ソシャゲはほんまに今多いから、でもほんまにこのデナービのシステムはちゃんと差別化できてると思う。
One opinion I thought was interesting was about one of the biggest advantages of removing the gacha. Namely that by removing the gacha, it forces the devs to focus on the gameplay and the story.
キャラガチャ武器ガチャなくしました。で周回コンテンツスタミナなくして周回コンテンツ無限にできますってなったらもう肝心のゲーム性でしか勝負できなくて、そうだゲームがおもろかったらまあやるし、でそれで見た目変えられるなら幸せで課金する人もいるけど、ゲームが面白くなかったらダメなんだよ。キャラの衣装とかで稼いでいくんだったら、まあ、結構キャラに愛着持てるようなストーリーとかコンテンツないとダメだから、イベントでねキャラが何回も出てくるようにしたりとか、そういうのないとダメだよね。
And on the topic of those skins and visual customization features, they were really impressed and looking forward to them.
水着スキン。おいいねいいね。素晴らしいよ。
丰富了皮肤的细节。
スキンのディティールを増やし、再起
对3套已经有的皮肤进行优化，丰富了皮肤的细节。皮肤的这个特效，还有武器皮肤的特效，做的一系列的新单品。
いいじゃないですか。
Another word I saw again and again was revolution. The bold decision to get rid of the gacha for both characters and weapons along with no stamina system takes a lot of courage, but it will undoubtedly be a revolution in smartphone games. Coming from the company that brought the revolutionary game Black Myth Wukong, I have a lot of hope. If this succeeds, it will massively change the gacha game landscape. And Nerumeru said this.
いやこれ成功したら革命だね本当に。いや今までのソシャゲがもう全部方向転換迫られるレベル。
But at the same time, he also said this.
爆死したらマジで大爆死になるけど。
So while they were impressed that such a high quality game is completely free, they were incredibly worried about this drastic change in the monetization system. But just as much as they were worried, they were equally as strong in their support, hoping that this game would succeed and revolutionize the gacha landscape to be less predatory. The biggest hurdle, in my opinion, is getting the message out there, letting people know that this game exists and it's not a gacha. Because while, yes, gacha is a huge part of Japanese culture, in recent years I've seen more and more people express a kind of gacha burnout when it comes to these games. So if Hero Games can make it known that this game is coming and it doesn't have all the tropes of a typical gacha game, such as pulling for characters, weapons, and daily limited stamina, and that it's more in line with a typical MMO progression, then I think they could definitely find a strong audience. And it seems the devs are making that genuine marketing push. And I don't just mean the 100 creators campaign that they did, but things like the cast of actors they chose to voice the characters that I mentioned before. Voice actors are just as big and well known in Japan as Hollywood actors, if not even more so. So getting people like Hanae Natsuki, Ishikawa Yui, and Furukawa Makoto, among all the rest, is a big deal for many people. On top of that, I've seen many big Japanese cosplayers announce that they've been hired to cosplay the characters. Tsukimi Tsukune will be cosplaying Saiki, Momoto Momo will be cosplaying Fantagio, Nekota Ashu will be cosplaying Rhythm, and Nene will cosplay Lin. I'm sure there will be more announced in the future, or maybe some that I couldn't find that have already been announced, but each of these have hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitter alone, so there's that too. While looking for videos, I found this one by Game Sampo, where they had actual architectural engineers, one of them in charge of the Shibuya area, look around the city and give their expert opinion. They talked about all the physics and actual structural engineering at play shown in the world design. It was incredibly interesting, for me anyway, so I'll leave a link in the description below if you're interested in checking that out. If I were going to summarize the Japanese opinion on Duet Night Abyss into one word, that word would be anxious. Anxious to see the story for themselves, anxious to try all the characters this game has to offer, anxious about them removing the gacha system, but also anxious to see a game in this space be player friendly, and overall anxious to see if this game will succeed. No one will know for sure until the game comes out on October 28th, so if you're also anxious to check this game out, as I know I am, make sure to pre-register on their official website. Links will be in the description below. And also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because that greatly supports the channel. So until next time, I will see you in the next video. Peace.